Okay, we saw yesterday that in addition to 4 Avos Nezikin, the Baishya said there are 13, and he listed 9 more. The 4 Shomrim and the 5, the Tashlumim, Nezek, Tzarif, B'Shavas, and Baishes. And then we get to Rabbi. Let's do Rabbi again. We're going to start from Dalit Amid Beis. We're going to start from Dalit Amid Beis about 12 lines up. Tani Rabbi. There are 24 Avos Nezikin. Tashlume Kefel, the payment of Kefel. Again, we saw that yesterday. Beautiful Pshat from Rav Shmuel Zatzal. And Tashlume Abar Chamisha, that's payment of Daled Vehei. You steal a shor, a set, and shefter to sell it. The Ganif, who that someone steals clandestinely. Gazlan, he steals in the open. Eidim Zomamim. The Ones, someone who forced himself upon a woman. Vamafate, entices a woman into it. This is speaking about, of course, a penuya. You might see shemra, and you might see shemra on your arusa that she was mizana. Right? Vamatame, you went ahead and you matame the truma of the kain or for someone else. Vamadama, and you went ahead and mixed chulin and truma together, thus making it easy, more cheap. Vamanasech, manasech is you. If you look at Rashi, Rashi has a 2 pshat. It says Rashi manasech. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 lines up. It's not written behedya, and even though it's not written behedya, it's still an av. Because they're the category of nezek. The nezek moment kasiv b'torah makam nefesh pemi yishalmena, and the destruction of your person that goes ahead and damages the moment of his friend, he has to pay, as it says makam nefesh pemi yishalmena. Umenasek esayayin lekelamema. Shenischu b'yayin nezek shezorik boy, right? That while he threw in yayin nezek, that he mixed it together. It's like mechasav leimidi, right? The mezav leibarmin de yayin nezek shabo. So therefore, Rashi is learning that yayin nezek means you did an act of nisach, that you went ahead and you menasek avoid desire. I come later to Rabbi. You were koina first by picking it up, and you didn't do the act of a desire till afterwards. So come later Rabbi is when the chi of tashlum and misa comes simultaneously. In this instance, it didn't. So that's menasek. That's Rashi's shita. Okay, so we're up to 24 of Nezikin. The Hani Klesser and these 13. Okay, so we're up to down on the base, about 6 lines up. So you have a total of 24. Now the Gemara is going to go ahead now and analyze why Reb Oishia, who said 13, did not agree with the other 11, and go through each one and questions based upon the answer. So Reb Oishia, who said 13, my time alay tani hani, why didn't it include these other 11? Because b'mamayna kamairi, b'kinas alay kamairi. The additional 11 of Reb Chia, the Gemara now is thinking they're all kinas, and Reb Oishia was only speaking about mammon. Okay, try the Gemara Ganif v'Gazlin b'mamaynahu lisni. Ganif and Gazlin is which is money. You should go ahead write a list. Says Rashi Ganif Amodim Yatzmo, that he admits himself, the Gazlan, play Mishalmi El Keren Lisni. In other words, they're going to pay the Keren. So if you're paying the Keren, there's no Knas, that's a tit for tat. Like, what you did, you did. It says Mahakatani Le Shemachinam Vashayel. He learned Shemachinam Vashayel. Rashi says Shayel, it's Lav Dafka, but it's possible to be a Shayel to be a Ganif. If you're, let's say, a shemachinam, and someone comes along and says, what happened to your object? It was stolen, and it wasn't. And then they find you admit the truth, you're going to have to pay kefil. So it's shaykh by the shleimim, it's shaykh kefil. So therefore, it was learned there. It was learned there. Reb Chia Nami, shemachinam v'ashayol. Reb Chia, who in fact just added on to Reb Oishia's, right? He learned shemachinam v'ashayol. If he's learning ganif and Shoel, you're telling me they're synonymous, so how could they be listed as 2 separate things? And for the Gemara, he learned mammon that came to his hands legally. That's the shomer. He is learning 2 types of mammon, right? Mammon that came to his hand betera, that's the shomer, and mammon came to his hands what v'isa, that is the ganef. For the Gemara, edim zoymim dimamaynahu lisni. Eidim Zaymamin, which is money, you should learn. Now, this is a very important Rashi. This Rashi, guys, you should remember. This is the definition of a kanas. Eidim Zaymamin d'mamaynahu. The Chala Mishalem Yoser Al Menashe Hisik, anyone who pays more, going Kefel, or Tashlumi Abba Chamisha, Kari Kanas. We'll see later on in Daf Tesvav Sugya whether Palganiska is Memoina or Kanas. So anyone who pays more is a Kanas, Kidl Kamon, Bahach Pirchanes, we'll see later on. Ukigoin, and another example of a Kanas is Kol Dova Kotzav, anything that's a set amount, Alma B'Torah. Kigon, Chamishim Shal Oines, Umefate, Umeya Shamatzi Shemra, Kulu Havi Kanasa. Avamidi Achrina Memona, anything is Mammon. Now, Adam Zayman, fellas, if you go ahead and say this person owes this guy $100, and they say, how could you have testified Imoro Yusem? What are you going to pay? $100. So it's not a kanas. In other words, it's not more, it's not less, right? It's not a double kotzev, so it doesn't fit in the category of kanas. The Gemara is saying, Adam Zayman, based upon the definition of what a kanas is, Adam Zayman's pashtus is not a kanas because you're paying the exact amount. That's why it's beautiful. So Adam Zayman, listening, said, and for the Gemara, Sabalak Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Chia, who learned Adam Zayman, holds like Rabbi Akiva, Damar, a Mishalman al Piatzman. You won't, if you in Bezdin, they found you guilty, they found you guilty, and you ran to another Bezdin, and you said you were amazing in the other Bezdin, and then you'd be pata. Look at Rashi, guys. Rabbi Akiva Damar Mesech Damakas Parakam Adam Zayman a Mishalman al Piatzman Kigon. And Huzma Bezdin Zev like Hisbik Baldin le'amida bedin. You were found to be Adam Zayman. The Baldin didn't get to an amount, but because the Baldin didn't get a chance to bring you to the Hamada Bedin, or the Toivon, and to collect. You go to another place. V'hodu sham bebezdin v'amru huzmanu bebezdin shel ploni beturin amlo kanasahu u'moed b'kanas pata. So the Rabbi Chia, who buys into the fact that Adam Zayman is kanas and not mommy, holds like Rabbi Akiva, because moed b'kanas your potter, and as long as they didn't set a price yet, and you were moed in another bezdin that the other bezdin found you guilty, then you would be what? You would be off the hook. It's not always money either. Again, we're speaking about Avis Nazikin, right? Yeah. We're speaking about Avis Nazikin. Okay, so now the Gemara wants to know. So now, if you're going to tell me that Rabbi Chia holds like Rabbi Akiva, that introduces us to another problem. It says the Gemara, Isabalak Rabbi Akiva, Lisni Trei Gavni Shar. Learn two types of shar, right? Lisni Shar da Asik Shar, which is going to pay Chatzi Nezek. But Lisni Shar da Asik Adam, which is going to pay Nezek Shalim. Now, in the parsha of Nezikin, by a shor that's masik another shor, we have a parsha of a tam, and you also have the same parsha by Adam. If a shor gores 3 times and kills a person 3 times, I gets killed after the first time. Benji, you asked me this question a million years ago. It means he runs away and he comes back. He runs away and he comes back. You remember? Anyway, so this is the case of you would pay kaifer by if a shor kills a person, you pay nesek shalim the first time. You pay nesek shalim the first time. So that's different than a shor das a shor. In our case, a shor das a shor, you're going to pay chatzi nesek. So says the Gemara. So you're telling me that it's like Rabbi Akiva, because Adam Zayman and Adam Zayman holds his kanas, and therefore Rabbi Chia is saying his 24 according to Rabbi Akiva, listening Trei Gavni Shor, listening Shor Dasik Shor, but listening Shor Dasik Adam. Did nan Rabbi Akiva Oimer. After time shechavel ba'adam, a time that damages a man, Mishalim b'maiser nezek shalim is going to pay the extra nezek shalim. So therefore, it's 2 separate parshiyos. You have a parsha of chatzi nezek and a parsha of nezek shalim. On that, the Gemara says, "Hatav Rabbi Akiva legaziza." That literally Rabbi Akiva's fist was broken because it's not totally like it's not even in nezek shalim. You're only going to pay megufoy. The time of Rabbi Akiva Omer yachalav tam shechavel ba'adam mishalim and aliyah. I might think you're going to pay from the Aliyah. Tamaloimer, the pasuk says, "Oy ben yigach, oy bas yigach." Kamishpar, I say, according to this law, meaning the law of Tam that pays Chatzi Nezek, that pays Megufoy, Yaselo, you're going to pay what? Megufoy. You're going to pay Megufoy, and therefore you didn't learn a separate thing because it's similar in the fact that it's going to pay from the body and not pay what from the Aliyah. In other words, the most you can pay is what the shor is worth. So a shor that azik shor is chatzi nezek from the body of the shor. A shor that azik shor is going to pay nezek shor from the body of the shor. But you'll never pay more than the shor is worth. You're limited to that. So therefore, you can't learn 2 types of shor. Okay, let's continue the analysis. Let's continue the analysis of the 24 of this Nezikin. Ha'onis v'mafata mitzi shemra. Dimemoinahu listening. Now, what are you going to tell me the moment? Didn't you just tell me? Be stern. You just did a Rashi. Rashi said anything that you pay a set amount is a kanas. How can you say that oinus mafata and mitzi shemra is mammon? Says Rashi. Oinus mafata dimemoinahu. Chamishim kesef levada b'kanas. When you say you chai 50, that's not the total amount. That's a set amount. However, alayesh by pegam sheshava achshav pachas memei karav. She was worth more before when she was a basula, and now she's worth less. Kedama b'ksubis. Uboishes also dimamaynahu. So l'chayra, if you're telling me that Rabbi Oishia, you learned mammon and you didn't learn kanas, why did you not learn Eidim Zaymimim? Because we all like Rabbi Akiva. Why didn't you learn Oinus Mefatim Mitzi Shemra? There's mammon there also. So the distinction between you, Rabbi Oishia, that you didn't include the 11 of Reb Chia is because those are kanas, and your mammon. One second, these also have a mammon aspect. So if you're learning mammon, Reb Chia, in your list of 13, you should have included these as well. That's the Gemara's kasha. So 1 second. Mon of shach. Nezek. If you're going to tell me that what the pagam is nezek, atanile, he did learn nezek. Tsar, the tsar of the oinus the mafata, tanile. Again, Rabbi Shia said nezek tsar ripushev the boishes. Boishes tanile. Pagam hainu nezek. Mayis cholamema. What's left over? Knasa. The knasa like kamairi. So very good. So what are we doing? We're analyzing each one of the additional 11 of Reb Chia. Going said they're all kanas. Therefore, Reb Oishia didn't learn it. We're asking they're all mammon, and therefore Reb Oishia should learn it. And therefore, we're deflecting Reb Oishia why he did not learn these things. Because in fact, what then there's a whatever mammon aspect there is learned. It's learned. It's included in Nezek Tzai. Okay, we had a Masechta Gittin Hamatame v'Hamadame b'Menasech. What we called it, this was called a hezek she'enai nikar. It looks exactly the same as it did before. It doesn't. There's no distinct difference. It looks exactly the same as it was before. Right? There's no difference. If you took the sheretz on it, you took the sheretz off. You mix the chul and the truma together. You can't tell the difference. Now we had a machlokes whether hezek she'enai nikar shmei hezek or not. If it's shmei hezek, it's the raisa. You chayav al nezek. If it's the rabbanan, it's a kanas. Good. So now, Fred the Gemara. Why didn't Rabbi Shia learn Matame B'Dame Menasech the Memoinahu? It's money. Let him go ahead, Ron, and list it, right? Says the Gemara. Matame Menasech not listening. Man of Shach. E Hesek Shein and Nikah Shmei Hesek. Atanilei Nezek, right? That's included in Nezek. E Hesek Shein and Nikah Shmei Hesek. Then Havile Kanasa. Or Kanasa like Kamairi. Beautiful teretz, right? Beautiful teretz. Leimek Sav Reb Chia Hezek Shein and Nikolai Shmei Hezek. Yishmei Hezek Hatani Lein Hezek. In other words, Reb Chia learned Rabbi Shia's 9. Reb Chia learned Rabbi Shia's 13, right? The 4 of our Mishnah and the 9. The 9 of Reb Shia was the 4 Shaimim, and Nezek Tzash Ripushev was the Boishes. Now, if he learned Nezek, and he learned what? Metamim Damim Menasech, it must be hills because Matamim Menasech is Kanas. Because if it was Nezek already, he learned Nezek because he included Rabbi Shia, right? So it would be included in that. The Ishmei Hezek or Tani Le Nezek. And for the Gemara, Tana Hezeka de Minkara. He learned the Hezek that is recognizable. The Tani Hezeka de Le Minkara. He learned the Hezek that's not recognizable. Okay, so he held serve. We have the 4 of our Mishnah, the 9 of the 13 of Rabbi Shia. Rabbi Shia added the 4 Shaimrim, which is 4. Nezek Tzarif B'Shever Zeboises is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. Rabbi Chia, I'm going to try to do this. Rabbi Chia said, Ganef Gazlin, Tashlumi Chayfa, Tashlumi Abba Chamisha. He said, Metamim Menasech, Oinus Mefata Mitzi Shemra, and that the additional 11, and that would, and Eidim Zaymimim, that would go ahead. Okay, now, Bishleim Elatanadi Don, who learned 4, Tanim and Yana Lamute Rabbi Shia. His 4 is to exclude the 9 of Rabbi Shia. Rabbi Shia, Tanim and Yana Lamute Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Shia's 9 is the Mute what? Mute the 24 Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia is 24 Lamute Mai. There's what other mazik is there that what we couldn't have included? What other mazik is there that we couldn't have included? And for the Gemara Lamute Moiser, if someone goes over and gives someone's money over to the government, right? You tell a person's cheating on his taxes, whatever. You give over that. Umifagel, and also mifagel, pigel. Now, what? So now you would think if I'd say you pigel, you'd say that the kohen b'shas avoida had a machshava of chutz l'makom chutz l'zman. Look at Rashi. It's a very shver Rashi, guys. Very shver Rashi. Moshe is malshin Moshe mam mechaber levik. Kofim umefagel kohen sheshachid karbonos shel Yisrael chatos l'shem shlamim de'ina karbim oilo l'chayves bailo v'tzarach acher. That's shaloi l'shma. Yeah. So the Velt's kasha is why did Rashi go ahead and say this and not what and not classic pigel? They'd taken over the Pnei Yeshua. I looked up the Pnei Yeshua. Pnei Yeshua wants a taina that if it was machshava, Rashi goes to Shitasle. Rashi learns Menasech Yayin Lavodah Zara. He went ahead and he did an action, and it's mashma. If you would have gone ahead and said chutz l'makom chutz l'zman, it would be considered an action. I don't know why it's more of an action than, and therefore it would be the same case. So in order to have another case, it was machshava shaloi lishma. I don't know why shaloi lishma would be a different action than pigel. It could be because shaloi lishma, it could be oil l'shem chayva, even though he says chatas over here. I don't understand the Pnei Yeshua. I mean, that's his mahalach. I was not zeicha to understand it, but that's the kasha. The teretz so far escapes me. Okay, anyway, l'chol hapachas. So he was the Moishe Mutim Mefagel. The Lisni, Reb Chia, who included 24, why didn't he include Moishe Mefagel? Abishleim Mefagel, Bekotchim like Kamari. He's not speaking about Kotchim. Kotchim's a separate parsha. He's not speaking about Kotchim, and therefore he didn't include it in his list. Ela Moiser my taima leitani. Why did he not learn Moiser? Now you could say that Moiser could be like a din in Garmi, maybe perhaps. Look at Toisus. Mute Moiser. Avimatzla meimel mute kaifer shleishin shaleved. What like a tani lahu mishundim bekatala like Kamari. You'd say that's not speaking whether there's death. Well, Moiser mefagel afilu man loy doin dini de Garmi. Even the Mandiyamu doesn't say Garmi. We're going to see in the latter paradise. There's a mazik called Garmi, just outside for a second. We know there's mazik b'yadayim, and there's something called groma. Mazik b'yadayim, of course, yechayev. Groma yepata b'dini adam v'chayev b'dini shemayim. There's a middle level called Garmi. There's a rush in the beginning of a basul yachbar, the second parak. Hesekos miyad, the kavanah to do damage. There's certain criteria that will elevate groma to garmi, and if you're done in the garmi, you mevatel you have a star on your friend. You mevatel a star. You give a guy. You have a guy. IOU. Guy owes you $1,000. You sell it to a guy for $100, and then you mevatel the IOU. So you cause that's a case of garmi. We just had Shmuel said that case. I'm giving you examples of it. So. So l'chara meiser, you didn't do it physically; you caused it, right? You said you caused it. So l'chara, even the Mandiyamu that doesn't mean that you be chayv as kanas. So for the Gemara, why didn't you include meiser? Says the Gemara, shiny meiser the dibura, because it's speaking about dibur, ubi dibura l'kamai. We're speaking about actions. We're not speaking about dibur. We're speaking about actions. We're not speaking about dibur. For the Gemara, meiser shemer the dibura who to Ketani. Rabbi Chia had a list. You said that your wife was mizana. That's a dibur. Says Gemara, dibur the isbe maisa. It's a dibur that has a maisa. It's a maisa. You said something, but there was no maisa attached to it. Over here, you said a dibur that she was mizana, so there's a maisa attached to it. Fred Gemara ve'edim zoymim dibura the lesbe maisa. Edim zoymim is a dibur that doesn't have maisa, and you included that, so you should include maisa in your list. Rav Chia says the Gemara v'katani hasam afagav the lesbe maisa. Even though there you do not have a Maisa, Rachmana Karya Maisa. The Torah calls it a Maisa, the Chsiv, Vasisem Loi Kasha Zomam, La Asois Liachiv. So you see the Lashon of Asiya. Okay.
Everything has repercussions. I mean, any receiver has repercussions.
No, but again, you see that basisim loy kashasam, the Torah calls it a ma'isa. It's because the Torah called it a ma'isa. So that's enough to be included in this list. And we're not speaking about repercussions. We're speaking about the deber is a ma'isa, not the effect that's going to be. So the government's going to take away your money, of course, but it means in this thing itself, the deber itself, right? So you're saying that your wife, not a wife, was mizana, right? That's a deber. Edim zoymim is right is not a deber, is not a ma'isa. So the Torah calls it a ma'isa.
We had a Rambam with that, right? On the side note with the receiver with money, right?
Which one?
The Rambam says that he's a writer, you kill the guy.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, now Bishleim Latana Didon Tana Avos Mechaldik Getoldos. Right? Atana the four. Good. Elul Reb Chia Reb Oishia Avos Mechaldik Getoldos told the same. I knew. What are the toldus of all those avos? Correct. So the answer is we're only calling them avos l'nyitashlumin. Mein Amar Abavo Kulin Ka'avos l'shalem mimeitav. They're all avos to pay from meitav. They're all avos to pay from meitav. My timer. In other words, they're really not avos per se like fathers. We're calling them avos to compare them to shor in order to say if you're going to collect karka in any one of these scenarios, you know where you're going to collect from? Idiots. Guys, you hear the pshat. It's not pshat the avos nezikin like a father and the tolda. There's no tolda. Why are we calling them avos? To tell you if you're going to collect karka in any one of these cases, you're going to collect what from? You're going to collect from idiots. Now, why is that? Asya tachas nesina yishalim kesef. By all of these cases, it says either one the lashon of tachas, one lashon or nesina, or yishalim kesef, and those four lashonos will connect us back to the avos nezikin that you're going to pay for meitav. Let's do a few of them, guys. It's a long Rashi. Let's do a few of them. It's the Rashi is dibar masal tachas nesina, the bekula kesiv oy tachas. By all of them, it says oy tachas v'gamrinon tachas mishar amu dechsiv bei shor tachas ashar. Right, you're going to pay shor tachas ashar. Ma hosam mi meitav the gomar mishen v'regel dechsiv ba meitav today or meitav kam yishalem. Afkan meitav shembol l'shalem karkel and izik b'shvel ezeko magbiyah min idias. So again, any one of these places that of the 24, right? It's going to say tachas. We're going to collect it to shor and shor. We learn from Shem v'regel that you can pay meitavs. That takes care of shachas, tachas. Next, oy nesina, or it says the lashon of nesina. The gomer nesina mishar shenaga chasa eved. Dechsiv bei yitain kesef shkolim yitain la'adoinav. It says the lashon ad yitain. So in any one of those four cases over here, and Rashi goes through them, it says yitain. Mela will connect it to shar. Once you connect it to shar, and shar goes to Shem v'regel, you got your meitav. Or Yishalem, the lashon Yishalem, the gomer mishem v'regel, the chsiv behen meitav karmo Yishalem. Or the fourth lashon oy kesef, the gamri mi bar the chsiv be kesef yoshev lebolov. Okay, kesef yoshev the lashon of what kesef yoshev lebolov. The arba ovis gemiri kula mishem v'regel. Okay, so now then Rashi goes through all the cases. So guys, so just for brevity's for Daf Yomi brevity purposes, correct? Succinctly, that these avos of the 24 of Reb Chia and the 13 of Rabbi Oishia are not avos the same as the four. Our four is avos mechal dekatoldos. When we call them avos nezikin, it's not to say that, right? So we're calling the avos nezikin to create the parallel to shar and bar, the other avos nezikin, and all the avos nezikin we just concluded in the first Mishnah and the Mishnah Daf Tes, right? Right, that you're going to collect what from right Hatzar Shavashavhen Shedak Lahasik Ushim Rasa Lecha Kashuz Chavmaza Chayla Tashlumi Nezek the Meitav Haaretz. You're going to collect what from the Meitav. So all these cases you're going to collect from Meitav, either because it has the lashon of Tachas or Nesina, Yishalim or Kesef. Very good. Okay, so the Mishnah had said Lehari Ashar Karei Amave Lehamar Karei Ashar. So why did we say if you would have said Shar, you couldn't learn out Mava from it. My Kamar, Amrav Zid Mishmei Derava, Hachi Kamar. Lichta Rachman Chada, learn Shar, V'teisei idach minei, and learn out mava from it. Hada amar, chada michada le'asya, one from one you can't learn. We said yesterday, if shar is regel, it says egem matzoi. If Shane is regel, if Shane, yeshna lazeka. Now each one has a kula that the other one does not have, and memela what you can't learn out one from the other. Right? Like we said that shor and maved don't have ruach hayim. Maika amar Rav Mishashia nishmei de Rava hachi kamar lichdei vrachmanan party. You can't learn out one from one. List two. List shor mava. V'teisach idim and learn one from it. You can't learn out one from two. Okay, so that's the Mishnah. However, comes along Rava and throws a ratchet into everything. Amar Rava, kula kishad is bar binayu, asi kula b'mehatzad. And all of them, if you throw bar into the mix, you would be able to learn all of them. Levar mi keren, except keren, because mikshum the ikal mifrich malakulan shemu adam etchilasan. Okay, now we'll do it. We've got this, guys. This Rashi takes up the whole page. Rashi goes through each possibility of right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Rashi's and we'll explain how is it possible if bar was thrown in the mix, you would be able to learn out one from two. Good. So now let's take away Rashi at the top. I'll go slow. Lichtoi brachmana tarti sharu mave v'teisei eish minayu, and you learn eish from it. What are you going to say? The chiparakta. Now it's very interesting. We said shor keren was the havamina, right? It turned out being rego. They go back to the havamina because the Gemara is going to throw in rego. The chiparachta. Mala keren shekain kavanas lahazik. Masha'en kain wat eish. Ikla meima shein tachiach. Because shein is not kavanas lahazik. Is kavanas lahazik. Ayasei mala shein sheyesh hanol lazeka. Keren yochiach. Good. So therefore, you could learn one from two. And now, ularav dama mabeza adam. Teisei hachi. Keep harach the malashosh ken kavanas lahazik. Toma beish adam yochiach. Shafilu en kavanas lahazik chayiv. Kidet nan adam would loilam. Beinor ben yoshem. Mala adam shken chayiv abor devarim. Sho yochiach. Ashar shosh shebehen. Shedarkum lahazik. V'shmasna lecha. Afani avi eish. Okay, so that guys, that's the way it would work. Outside guys, right? Shor guys, shor and ma'aveh, and you can't learn out eish. Shor kavanas lahazik. Right, that's why you chayiv shein tachiach, shein anol aziach, shor tachiach. For chazra adin, tzad hashava include eish. Good, and now we're going to say you couldn't learn out eish. Why? Says the Gemara. Now for chada mitati nami liyasya diirei keren umaveh sheish b'm ruach chayim karei eish that doesn't have ruach chayim. Good, that is the pashup shot. What about we go according to Rav, Shor Kavanas Lahazik, Shein Tachiach. Mav is not Shein. Adam Tachiach. Adam Chayvid Adala Devarim, Shor Yochiach. Chazar Adin. Okay. Why can't you learn it out? Because whatever Mava and Shor are, they have Ruach Chayim as opposed to Eish that doesn't have any life force. Guys, you good so far? Guys, you all good? Now, what do we need to know now? What happens when you throw bor into the mix? When you throw bor, why does it work? So now here we go. The kula kishod is bar beinayu asya. Ikasiv bar v'chada mihanach asya kula me'ahu me'idach b'tzara shava. Ikasiv, watch. Ikasiv bar v'keren asya sheminayu hachi. You're going to start off. Ma'ala bar shein darka lahazik ulachai hazik chayiv. Shein shedarka leilach lahazik lekol shekain. Madach bar, which doesn't go do damage, is chayiv. Shein, which can go and do damage, ain't a din. What are you going to say? Malabon shekain tchilas asiyas l'nezek. From the time of its creation, it can do damage. Mashen kain, right? Mashen kain shein. Time of b'shein, good. So Karen yochiach. Karen will disprove you. I mala Karen shekain kavanos lahazik. Bar yochiach. V'chazer adin. Hatzarashava shebehen shedarkan lahazik u'moincha. Afani evi shein. V'chein regel. You go through each one, guys. Except, right, the only one you're going to have a problem with what is by Keren. If you're going to try to learn that Keren from any one of them, let's say you take a bar and regel. Mal bar in dakar leil hazik chayiv. So certainly what Karen should dakar leil hazik. I ma le bar came to chilas asiyas lenezek. So let's shein tachiach. Shabbat that's not chilas lenezek. Ma shein yeshin nolazeka bar tachiach v'chazradin, and you're good. And you're good. You have a kasha. The only one you'd have a kasha one is Karen, because the other one malid bar v'shein shemuad mitchilason. Time of the Karen that it's not. So that any one that you're going to do, you go through. That's what Rashi does. So let's see it inside now. So the top of the page. Lich Tarti say sharu maviv v'teisi idich minayu, and learn on eish from it. Adam achadim mitarti leyasya. Eish can't come and learn out from sharu maviv because eish doesn't have ruach chayim. Amar Rabbi v'kulik yishad is bar minayu. If one of the two of the that you're going to learn from is a bar, asi kula, you can learn any one of them. The mehat sad levami Karen, with the exception of Karen. Mishum the ikla mifrik is a kasha. Malakula shekem muad mitchilason. Whatever it's going to be, bar and regel, bar v'shein, whatever you're going to pick, bar v'eish, whatever you're going to pick, the muad mitchilason. Mashain came by Karen. Fred Gemara lamanda ama adarabba Karen adifa shekavanas lahazik. I feel Karen am yasya. So and mani that Karen is kavanas lahazik. Karen adifa. So even you can tell me that it's a even though it has a pasha of tam, but Karen is the others kavanas lahazik. You can learn that as well. So Fred Gemara, then the obvious question: so why do you write all of them? Why'd you write them? You can learn out one. You can learn them all out. In other words, once you create a shava that says that anything they chayiv to watch shmiras and alecha, you're going to pay. So why do you have to list all of them? Says Gemara, I'll tell you why. Each one was written for its specific halacha. Karen, why was Karen written? L'chalik bein tama l'muadas. The mechalik between the tam the first time and after 3 times. Shein v'regel l'poitron b'shus rabim. It's good if you have your chart. Very for those of people, I'll just you have your chart is very very good. Look at the last column. Right, look at the last column on the chart, right? So Karen is chayiv mishus harabim, chayiv chatzi nezek, and shein v'regel apata b'shus harabim. That's shein v'regel is apata b'shus harabim, and continuing down the line, right? A bar lifted by a kalim, guys. Shar v'loy adam chamar v'loy kalim. Right, there's by bar. There's a patur of kalim, and if Adam dies, there's a patur if he dies, right? And less than 10, you're not chayv misa. Right? Rabbi Yehuda mechayev al niskei kalim bebar, and Rabbi Yehuda says you chayv niskei kalim bebar. Again, we'll meet all these people later. You chayv niskei kalim bebar, right? Why lift the bayas Adam? That Adam's pata. Adam, why do you list Adam a mazik? The chayv about devarim sari pashevas ubayshes. Eish, why do you learn Eish? If you can learn it out, lift the bayas tamen. Guys, Eish is a patur of tamen. Let's say you burn down a haystack and there's something hidden in the haystack, it will be pata. It's pata patur of tamen, hidden objects. Says the Gemara, or of Yehuda the mechayv on this gate tamen lasuye ma tamen beish. Like Rabbi Yehuda it's mechayv on this gate tamen beish lasuye mai. Says Gemara lasuye lechachay niroi b'sichas chavonav. If you went ahead and you plowed your field and the fire came and it singed your field or it singed your rocks, to mechayiv you. Let's see the top Rashi. If it goes ahead and it laps your plowed field, like sichscha avonav, or it singes the stones, chayiv right. Bavonim is shaykh loshen sichluch, shlenisiful legami doesn't get burned completely, and so on and so forth. So very geschmack. Let's chazir it. But what do we see tonight? So machlokes between Rabbi Shia and Rabbi Shia. Rabbi Shia was only speaking about Mammon. He wasn't speaking about Kanas. Rabbi Shia was even speaking about Kanas. Why does they call the 24 of this Nesikim? Why the Avis? Is because they pay Mimeitav, but not because they have told us they pay Mimeitav. Why do they pay for Mimeitav? Because for any one of the it's the other 13, any one of those, it says either lashon of Tachas, Nesina, Yishalim, Kesef. We're Mechadish now the Gemara that you kill out a 1 from 2 that's provided, you couldn't learn out shor and maveh, you couldn't learn out eish. But if one of these was bor, you would be able to learn, with the exception of Karen, which is a muid. And like the Maniyam, the Karen's even more chum, you'd be able to learn that as well. So therefore, you have a question. So why did you list them? You see, you listed them for the specific what halachas, the unique halachas that's teaching every one of them. Karen, the chayiv tam and muid, shein v'regel pater b'shus rabim, Adam to say that what you would be chayiv for Adam. Well, Adam is chayiv muid loylam. I mean, Adam is listed, yeah, and chayiv is dalad devarim, right? The chayiv in the four things. We said eish to pater tamin, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, the chayiv that even an object that is like burn land and burn stones, you would be chayiv. Thanks everyone for listening. Let's say Tehillah.